guys, welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers. Okay, so today we have a launch of Delta IV Heavy. Guys, this is the launch we all are waiting for. I mean, myself, I am looking forward to this launch all the time because this is the rare launch. We get beautiful views during the liftoff and that fireball mechanism, and then those beautiful majestic plumes of this rocket. She is very beautiful and is very powerful too. So this is Delta IV Heavy. In front of you today is the launch day for this rocket, but let me just tell you that today is the first launch of the 4 planned launches that it will have until this rocket retires. So yeah, this is a bit sad news, but still we do have 3 more launches left for this vehicle, and I'm very interested in this launch, and I'm very excited right now. So let's just jump into it and see what this rocket holds, what this mission is about. So talking about this rocket, so this is the Delta IV Heavy. So this Delta IV was the the younger sister for Delta IV Heavy. I can say that, yeah. It was like more of a role which Atlas V does. It was doing that, so it has already been retired. The older one is still in operation but is being retired after 3 launches. But don't worry, we do have 3 launches left, and it will be around in 2022 that it will happen when I mean, we can see the last launch. So talking about the rocket, it has 2 boosters and 1 core stage. All of them runs on RS-68A engines, and these RS-68A engine, runs on liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen as its fuel, which means it is a bit costly in the end, but you are getting efficiency as well as yeah, you are getting efficiency in terms of the cost. So yeah, these RS-68A engines runs on the liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen as its fuel. These are the boosters. Then we have the interstage. Then we have the RL-10 engines, which are shipped from Russia, which is currently the most efficient engine which is being in operation till now, right now, on Earth. So this is the thing which they called as delta cryogenic second stage. Although the efficiency is being compensated by its thrust, it is not a very powerful rocket, the second stage. So that's why the core stage of this rocket, which is this stage, runs a bit more than the other core stages which we have. Although SLS is an exception for this thing, SLS core stage will run for a lot more, but yeah, that is the case. And talking about the performance, the Delta IV Heavy is no brainer right now for the most heaviest rocket which is flying right now. So Delta IV Heavy can put around 14.2 tons into geostationary transfer orbit and 28 tons into low Earth orbit. So Falcon Heavy also has this much of capacity in its non-expendable configuration, but when it is used in expendable, then the capacity to LEO at least increases to 64 tons. So right now, if you just talk about how the things work and how those rockets which are in operation work, this is the most powerful rocket we have. And yep, and they have these 2 configuration, 5 meter, which is 5 meter diameter, and 47 feet long and 62.7 feet long according to the customer's wishes. And yeah, so the main engine, solid rocket, we don't have. The main engine runs on RS-68. We already have seen that, so we don't have anything else to talk about here. Let's just move on to the another slide. Here we have, this is a more detailed view of the rocket which you can see. And for guys, just for fun sake, here is the comparison, and here we have the human for scale. Here you can see that we have those humans here, and this is the rocket. So this is actually a very large rocket, and you can see from the comparison the humans are here for scale. And talking about the technical aspects of this vehicle, so this is the RS-68A engines. This is the heat shield here. Then we have this liquid hydrogen tank and then liquid oxygen tank. So talking about why, if you just see the size of these two tanks, we have liquid oxygen, which is a smaller tank, much smaller than the liquid hydrogen tank. So if you guys ask me why is it so, why do we require more hydrogen than oxygen? First of all, it comes down to the chemistry. When hydrogen and oxygen mixes, H2 plus O2 gives H2O, but when you balance the molar fraction, as they say in chemistry, you will find that we need more hydrogen atoms than the oxygen atoms to balance the equation. I mean, the conservation of mass is there, Dalton's law, if I'm not wrong, which says the mass of the reactants is equal to the mass of the product. So to balance the reaction, we require more hydrogen with less oxygen, and then we get proper amount of water. So that is the reason we have this thing here. And then we have the second stage, which you can see. And this second stage has an expendable nozzle, which is so cool to have. Just because of this expendable nozzle, they can increase the efficiency of this engine to much, much higher extent. And just see the nozzle right now. Okay, so talking we will see the nozzle, but let's just talk about the flight profile right now. So we can see here the flight profile looks pretty much polar here, so it could be going to a polar orbit, although I'm just saying that this is a mission planned for NROL NRO office, so National Reconnaissance Office. So we do have some, you know, those nitty-gritties in which we will not have much of the informations in hand, but still whatever info we have, this is in front of you. From the looks of it, it is looking like it is going to a polar orbit. And yeah, and this is the how, this is very interesting thing here, guys. This is how it assembles. So these are the boosters and all those things which are actually made separately, and then it is assembled here, horizontal integration facility. So it is not vertically integrated, it is horizontally integrated, and then pushed I mean straighten out vertically, and then the fairing and the payload is put. So yeah, that is the case. So for this rocket we have, you can see here, okay, no, we don't have it. So one thing which I would like you guys to see is this thing. A sec. Yeah, see this thing here. Just a sec. This, you can you see the nozzle here, guys? This is the expendable version of the nozzle, and it is so big, which you can see here. I mean, if you will compare the size of this engine, so engine is 7 feet long with the nozzle stored. With the nozzle stored, it is 7 feet long and nearly 14 feet after the nozzle deployment. And this is what actually makes this rocket very interesting. This second stage, this powerful and the capable second stage which it has. So yeah, that is the case. And just a sec, let me see if we do have the stream right now. Nope, we are waiting for the stream to come. So hi John Wilson, hi Yamero, hi Louis Smith, and hi Pedro T. And please, that the Russian guy in the chat, can you just please write your name in English, because I don't know Russian and I can't pronounce your name, and you have been kind of helpful guy in the chat. So yeah, and we have the stream. So let me just switch over to the stream now.
Have ignition of the RS-68A main engine, and we have liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket.
Execute, and we have indication of spacecraft separation.
At Space Launch Complex 6, a Delta IV Heavy rocket is fueled and ready to launch the NROL-82 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office. Good afternoon and welcome to Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. I'm Caroline Kirk, a systems engineer with ULA. Liftoff is currently planned for 1:47 p.m. Pacific, and the launch team is not working any issues at this time. Approximately 15 minutes ago, the launch count entered a planned hold. We have 2 planned holds in today's 9.5-hour launch count. These planned holds give our team additional time to resolve any issues that come up prior to entering the terminal count. At the request of our customer, today's live mission coverage will conclude following payload fairing jettison, scheduled to occur just over 6 minutes after liftoff. In addition to watching our webcast, you can follow live mission progress at ulalaunch.com. First
Guys,
Lieutenant Max Rush,
wow.
30th Space Wing's weather officer, recently briefed the weather conditions here at Vandenberg Air Force Base. Here's what we're seeing. The probability of violating launch constraints is 40%, the ground winds are 10 to 15 knots out of the northwest, and the temperature is 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So, the weather is within the launch commit criteria and looks favorable for our planned T0 at 1:47 p.m. Pacific. Today's flight will head south away from our launch pad here at Vandenberg Air Force Base. Let's take a look at what else we can expect to see.
And guys, the volume is a bit low here from the back end only, so yeah. See the fireball, guys. I'll explain the fireball also.
Liftoff of the United Launch
Just
Alliance
watch
Delta
the
IV
presentation
Heavy
right now.
At T-minus 14 seconds, the launch table HBOs ignite to burn off excess hydrogen injected into the flame duct. At T-minus 7 seconds, the starboard Delta IV ROFI lights, igniting its RS-68A engine. 2 seconds later, the center and port RS-68A engines ignite, generating more than 2.1 million pounds of total thrust to lift the rocket off the pad. This staggered engine start mitigates the fireball created by the hydrogen-burning Delta IV Heavy. Shortly after liftoff, Delta IV begins a pitchover to attain the proper flight path while minimizing the pressure the vehicle experiences during flight. The Delta IV reaches Mach 1, the speed of sound, at 1 minute 21 seconds. At 3 minutes 56 seconds, the port and starboard booster engines shut down. 2 seconds later, the port and starboard boosters are jettisoned to shed their weight. The center booster engine then throttles to full power to maximize performance against gravity losses. Approaching main engine cutoff, Delta IV is burning propellant at a rate of 1,945 pounds, or 882 kilograms per second, traveling at more than 12,725 miles, or 20,479 kilometers per hour, and located 130 miles, or 209 kilometers in altitude, and 350 miles, or 563 kilometers downrange. At 5 minutes 37 seconds, propellant levels deplete, and the main engine shuts down. 7 seconds later, the Delta IV separation system activates to release the first stage. The vehicle now weighs approximately 7% of what it did at liftoff. At 5 minutes 57 seconds, the Delta cryogenic second stage, or DCSS main engine ignites to carry the payload to orbit. During ascent, NROL-82 is protected inside a 5-meter diameter payload fairing. At approximately 6 minutes 7 seconds, the payload fairing is jettisoned. Delta IV continues its national security mission following payload fairing jettison.
So guys, this is a beautiful looking rocket, and we will see a majestic lift off also of this rocket at the time of liftoff.
Our viewers watching from Southern California may be able to see the Delta IV Heavy in flight. And, as you can see from this graphic,
Okay, so talking about the fireball, why does it create a fireball in first place? Those toasty looking fire just before the liftoff. So, you know, this runs on hydrogen and liquid oxygen as its fuel. So what it does is that some part of the cryogenic hydrogen actually just flows down the engines, and when we have those engine chills stage in Falcon 9 also, right, in Starship also. So that flowing down of liquid hydrogen into the engine is the engine chill for this rocket, and when it falls down into the engine, it also just purges out of the engine when it's has done its job of chilling the engine. So lots and lots of hydrogen gets accumulated around those engines and the rocket. And hydrogen, as we all know, is a very 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 flammable and highly explosive fuel. So to avoid any kind of catastrophe just after the ignition, what they do is they ignite the rofies, which are actually this the sparklers on the side of the rocket, which actually whose role is to burn off the excess hydrogen which is being released due for this process. When the hydrogen the extra hydrogen burns off, it rises up the booster, and then when it rises up the booster, it will cause the obviously that toasty looking effect on the rocket. That's why you see that. Also, why does it charge itself, if you ask me? The charring is simply because that orange thingy which you see on the rocket is actually a foam, an insulation foam of it, and when it catches fire, so that insulation foam catches fire and it just burns off and leaving that charry looking rocket. So yeah, that is pretty much about it. So if you have any other questions, you can surely ask me, and we do have. I just love this rocket. I mean, wow.
Roger.
I am very hopeful that we will get some cool shots today, and we will be able to see this rocket in action at the very best
Step
time.
1180, verify base bending moment instrumentation is active and data is valid.
DBM is fully mission capable and recommend placard 6 alpha.
Roger. LOLC, net 1.
Here's the
I'll be utilizing placard 6 alpha.
Copy 6 alpha.
Okay. So,
Today's launch
John,
is for the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. This is ULA's 31st launch for the NRO and 9th use of the Delta IV Heavy for the NRO. The NRO is a joint organization engaged in the research and development, acquisition, launch, and operation of innovative overhead reconnaissance systems necessary to meet the needs of the intelligence community and the Department of Defense. The NRO is recognized for its transformational intelligence.
okay, so the John Wilson asked, are the boosters recovered? No, they are not recovered. They are actually used in the expendable configuration. Also, they do have the plan of recovering the at least the engine, as they call it, the smart recovery system. For the Vulcan rocket, which will be replacing the Atlas V as well as the Delta family. So the Vulcan rocket is you can say a unified launch vehicle, which is actually has its role of launching from the Atlas V payload to the Delta IV Heavy payload. So yeah.
Inspired by a World War II fighter pilot who was awarded the Medal of Honor, a Navy Cross, and Purple Heart for heroism and dedication, and who had ace fighter pilot skills. This patriot was Gregory Boyington, known to many as Pappy. This logo was designed to commemorate the many heroic acts and sacrifices that have been made to protect America. The artwork features an eagle, symbolizing freedom, wearing traditional World War II flight gear. Behind the eagle is an F-4U Corsair, the aircraft that Pappy Boyington flew while in the Marine Corps. Additionally, we have the Latin phrase Tacitae Libertatis Custodumque, which translates to Silent Guardians of Freedom. Below the mission artwork, there is an additional patch recognizing the NRO's 60th anniversary this year.
So talking about the missions of the planned missions of this rocket, we have all the missions, which are actually the 3 rocket launches planned, and all those 3 launches are for the NRO only.
Of government and commercial programs talks about the significance of these missions.
We're really honored to be here today.
Okay, so If you have any other questions, you can surely ask me. And when you will see the liftoff and the launch, and when it is actually flying to the space, you will see the red plume coming out of the rocket. And talking about the red plume, you must be, if you have followed rocket launches from the shuttle era, you must be wondering why the plumes are reddish in color, because the shuttle plumes were bluish in color, and it is supposed to be like that only. But in case of the Delta IV Heavy, it does not have any that regenerative cooling in this in its engine. So just because of that, it uses graphite as its ablator for cooling the of the engine nozzle. On the engine nozzle, it does not have that shuttle like pipes running around which cools the engine, and in those pipes the cryogenic fuel runs so that it cools down. But that does not happen here. What actually happens here, they have the ablator which ablates off and takes off the heat, and that graphite ablator actually takes off the heat as well as provide that reddish color to the plume. So yeah.
And actually be able to start integrating some of these critical payloads on that platform and launching here in the near future.
Time verification.
Roger.
We have the
OSM, verify the whole fire switch is in the proceed position.
Today's flight is dedicated to frontline workers who have been vital to the fight against COVID-19. This mission is also in memory of 2 NRO teammates. A few moments ago, Mission Director Colonel Chad Davis remembered these friends and colleagues, Lisa Wilson and Ross Kobayashi. Let's listen in.
Today's launch is dedicated to the memory of past NRO teammates, notably including Lisa Wilson, engineer, friend, wife, mother and grandmother, who for 32 years provided unbounded support and technical direction for critical space lift missions, resulting in precise orbital insertion of satellite vehicles. Lisa's achievements are to be remembered as an example of service of the freedoms we stand for. Go for flight. And Ross Kobayashi, mentor, friend, husband and father, who for 25 years had been part of the OSL mission assurance team, responsible for the assessment of launch vehicle risks and the success of over 50 national launches across the Titan, Atlas, and Delta launch systems. Ross served as the technical chair for 28 NRO launches, leading the efforts to safely shepherd the payloads to orbit, culminating with the launch of NROL-71 from Slick 6. Fight on forever, Ross. MD out.
Yeah, we are actually living in the difficult times right now, and do wear your mask, don't go out of your homes, and we should be all right on this pandemic. So here we have the poll.
27
Just
engineers
listen
and
in to
managers
the
are
poll
polled for system
and
status and readiness to proceed. This
get
is the
ready for
final
some
status
thrill.
check before launch for all Delta vehicle systems, ground systems, the spacecraft, and the U.S. Air Force Western Range. The vehicle system readiness poll includes electrical systems, hydraulics, pneumatics, propulsion systems, flight control, and propellants. Let's listen in as Scott Barney performs the final polling of the launch team.
Status check to proceed with terminal count. First stage systems, propulsion.
Go.
Hydraulics.
Go.
Lux.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
Second stage system, Lux.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
Electrical systems, airborne.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Facility.
Go.
RFFTS.
Go.
Flight control.
Go.
COM.
Go.
GCQ.
Go.
Operations support.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
Umbilicals.
Go.
HAZGAS.
Go.
ECS.
Go.
Redline monitor.
Go.
Quality.
Go.
Ops safety manager.
Go.
ULA safety officer.
Go.
Vehicle system engineer.
Go.
Anomaly chief.
Go.
Range coordinator.
Clear to proceed.
Launch director.
Launch vehicle is ready to launch.
Mission director.
You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count.
Wow,
minus
guys.
6 minutes.
ALC. Verify T0 is set for 20:47:00 Zulu.
Verified.
MEQ, establish swing arm lock pins pull.
Active.
Guys, here
Polling
we
is complete,
go.
and the launch team has given the go for launch. The countdown will resume approximately 2 minutes from now. At T-minus 4 minutes and counting, we will enter the terminal count and begin securing the second stage liquid oxygen tank. At T-minus 3 minutes and 32 seconds, CBC liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen tank securing is started, including closing the propellant fill and drain valves. Also, at T-minus 3 minutes and 32 seconds, vehicle transfer from ground facility power to its own internal battery power will be complete. At T-minus 3 minutes, the vehicle ordnance system will be armed and the CBC liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen propellant tanks are verified to be at flight pressure and flight level. At 2 minutes prior to liftoff, the team will verify that the hydraulic system is pressurized and confirm CBC, DCSS, and FTS battery voltages. At T-minus 1 minute and 20 seconds, the team will begin securing the second stage liquid hydrogen tank. At T-minus 60 seconds, western range readiness is verified. At T-minus 50 seconds, the DCSS liquid hydrogen tank is secured at flight level. At T-minus 15 seconds, the launch table HBOs are ignited at the base of the vehicle to burn off excess hydrogen. At T-minus 7 seconds, the starboard CBC engine is ignited. At T-minus 5 seconds, the port and center CBC engines are ignited. Liftoff will occur at T0.
Here we go, guys. We have the go for the launch, and I am very, very excited
This
for
is
this
Delta
launch.
Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We anticipate releasing the hold in just a few moments.
Exactly.
T-minus 4 minutes and counting. 3:55.
Ground pyros enabled.
The countdown clock has resumed. We've entered the terminal count and are go for launch at 1:47 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay, so we are T-minus
Second
4
space
minutes.
lock secure at flight level.
The locks has been secured for the flight level, which means now no more locks loading to the tanks. Also, guys, let me just tell you a little bit of description and history with this launch vehicle recently, which is happening. That just during the launch there are issues with this vehicle, not with the vehicle but the ground control systems. So let's hope that we don't have any as such issues with the
T-minus 3
GSEs
minutes, 7 seconds.
for today's launch. And thanks, John Wilson. And we are T-minus 3 minutes from the launch. Everything is looking good. The locks has been secured. Probably the hydrogen will also be secured for the launch. Then we will see the venting also going off, which means the
249.
the
FTS
fuels
internal.
are at the level, and now FTS is internal. I think that is armed, which is the flight termination system if anything goes wrong during the flight. And yeah, just sit tight, hold your breath, and don't hold your breath for T-minus 2 minutes.
Pressure and flight level.
Okay, so but yeah, just sit tight, relax, and enjoy this beautiful, majestic liftoff of the Delta IV Heavy. And just before the liftoff, you will see that fireball, that awesome fireball associated with this launch that is totally nominal, which is bound to
CBC
happen.
LH2 at flight pressure and flight level.
And
Pressure at 4,000.
2 minutes, 1:59.
Vehicle internal.
1:55.
Launch sequencer start.
$140.
FCS launch enabled.
$137.
it is getting real. I am really very excited for this launch. You will get some awesome views.
T-minus 90 seconds. The launch vehicle, payload, ground systems, and western range are go for launch.
120.
OCU's armed.
FCS count started.
We are just now under
T-minus 1 minute.
1 minute.
Rock, report range status.
Rock, Range is green.
The range is
50
green
seconds.
and vehicle is ready, and we are just waiting for the lift off to happen. Just at T minus 11 seconds or so, you will see the ignition and the fireball mechanism to come its full power.
Second stage LH2, secure at flight level.
And you will see the venting going off
30
now.
seconds.
Status.
T minus
Go
30
Delta.
seconds.
Go NROL-82.
I'm very excited for this now. Let's get this and light this candle.
15 seconds.
Come on, change
Roll
the
for ignition.
ignitions.
9.
T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket carrying the NROL-82 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office.
You go on the pitch over maneuver? The parameters look good on all three cores.
Camera is looking good, and we just saw this beautiful rocket liftoff. Wow.
Core booster is now throttling down to the partial thrust level.
So
Partial thrust achieved.
You are hearing the voice of Rob Kesselman providing launch vehicle ascent data.
Now, 50 seconds into flight, vehicle is 3 miles in altitude, 5 miles downrange distance, traveling at 970 miles per hour.
man, and just for the record, guys, this the side boosters are actually running at full thrust, but
All
not
vehicle
the
systems
center
look
core.
good at this time.
And because it does not have that asparagus staging here, so to save
Now,
the
at T
fuel,
plus 80 seconds, vehicle is now passing through max Q, maximum dynamic pressure.
it
Mach
just
1, vehicle is now supersonic.
lowers the thrust and saves the fuel. So the vehicle is in Mach 1, and that is completely nominal.
All three
The trails,
RS-68 looks healthy at this time.
everything is looking good. I guess this is nominal. These are just the contrails. Yep, just the contrails. Nothing to worry about.
Vehicle systems continue to be healthy. The second stage reaction control system pressurization valve has now opened.
Everything is looking good.
Now, 125 seconds into flight, Delta is now 18 miles in altitude, 9 miles downrange distance, traveling at 1,800 miles per hour.
Wow. And the booster separation is coming up.
Delta has now
next.
gone to closed loop guidance. Vehicle body rates are nominal.
So the closed loop guidance actually means that it is now taking the feedback into the account. What is its planned trajectory and what it is moving on. Previously, it was just moving into
3 minutes
the
remain in the booster phase of flight.
trajectory it was
Delta
supposed
4
to move.
rocket now weighs just 1/2 of what it did at liftoff, burning propellant at a rate of almost 5,000 pounds per second.
Man, see this thing and see the horizon. We were actually able to see that horizon, that picture
1
over
minute
and
until port and starboard booster engine cutoff.
rollover maneuver there. So yeah, we should be having the booster cutoff and the booster separation coming up next.
Vehicle systems look healthy at this time. The attitude control system, the autopilot has controlled all vehicle body rates to near zero.
This is the camera which you are right now seeing is the IR camera, actually, the infrared camera. So yep.
Approximately 30 seconds remaining now until the port and starboard booster engines cut off.
Let's get, yep, we have the onboard cameras, and we will surely be getting some very good views out of the engine.
Strap-on boosters are now throttling down to the partial thrust level.
We will be having the engine
Strap-on
cutoff
booster cut off
and
and separation of the strap-on
wow.
boosters.
See the
Core
booster
booster is
going.
now throttling back up.
The center core is throttling back up, which was throttled down initially to save on the fuel. Now it is throttling back up.
Core
We
booster is
can,
operating as expected at the 100% throttle level.
wow, see the Earth from the behind and everything. Wow. The horizon. This is one of the most beautiful launches I have ever
The
witnessed.
upper stage lock system has now begun the boost phase chill down sequence to begin thermal conditioning of the RL-10 engine. 1 minute remaining in the booster phase of flight.
And this booster is actually supposed to be running for a much longer time than normal boosters.
Upper stage fuel system has begun the boost phase chill down sequence.
Just because the upper stage does not have enough thrust. So as much thrust the core stage can produce, that's why they, cling on it for much longer.
Booster performance continues to look good at this time.
And we can't see the plume right now because the plume is actually clear for the hydrogen and LOX. Hopefully
Vehicle body rates continue to be near zero as expected.
Ablators have done their job mostly, so yeah.
Core booster is now throttling down.
For the MECO and stage separation.
We have MECO, first stage main engine cutoff. We have stage separation.
And there
Next
you
deployment
go.
has begun. Restart on the RL-10.
Wow, wow. Did you see the
We have
nozzle
ignition
expanding?
on the RL-10, that's one.
We have the ignition.
We
wow.
have indication of successful payload fairing jettison.
And obviously we won't get the views of the satellite. It is scaring.
This year, the National Reconnaissance Office celebrates its 60th anniversary. From its inception in 1961, the NRO has used its incredible intelligence collection capabilities to meet the nation's challenges. Let's take a look back at the agency that has pushed the envelope of U.S. space-based intelligence collection with courage and ingenuity.
So, okay. So, we just saw the beautiful liftoff of the Delta IV Heavy. How cool was that? Just tell me, guys. I mean, hopefully we could have got a better camera angle from the front side, but that is nothing to complain because we don't know from where the fireball will pick up. So yeah, we just saw the fireball and the beautiful liftoff of this vehicle, and thankfully and fortunately we didn't have the GSE issue which we used to have for the couple of previous launches. So that is a good thing. They have resolved it now. And guys, if you have any other questions, the thing which I liked the most about this launch was the onboard camera's views, and obviously that RL-10 engine expanding. I mean, we rarely get those views from the Delta IV Heavy when we get to see the RL-10 engine actually expanding and actually expanding to 14 feet in size. So it's a pretty big rocket, and just because of that nozzle size which it gets, it is pretty efficient too. The ISP, it has the highest ISP till now of the second stage in the world, which is actually around 426 seconds. So yep, we do have something to see for this rocket.
Both a member of the intelligence community and the Department of Defense. In the late 1950s, all three military services, as well as the CIA, were involved in trying to launch satellites, each for their own unique purposes. By the time President Kennedy took office in 1961, it was clear that all of these various efforts would be more effective and efficient if they were managed within one single organization to control budgets and facilitate coordination. So on September 6, 1961, CIA and the DoD signed an agreement to form the jointly managed National Reconnaissance Office to run the National Reconnaissance Program. As a result of our unique position, NRO for 6 decades has worked with our DoD and IC partners to inject advanced capabilities into our operations to deliver critical intelligence to policymakers and warfighters worldwide. We work with our mission partners, including NGA, NSA, CIA, DIA, Space Command, Space Force, to provide global situational awareness to government and civilian agencies. Today's NROL-82 mission launch represents not just years of planning and collaboration for the specific mission, but a 6-decade legacy of innovation and reconnaissance.
Rock, report range status. Range green. Launch enabled.
We have main engine ignition. 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket.
When the nation needs eyes and ears where no other collectors can reach, it turns to the NRO.
We won't be getting any
This
as
is
such
Delta
updates.
Control at T plus 10 minutes. Rob Kesselman just confirmed the successful completion of the early phase of today's flight, and all systems continue to operate nominally. I'd like to thank Rob for his support of today's show. For more information about this mission, please follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, or our blog at ulalaunch.com. We'll leave you now with another look at the liftoff of the Delta IV Heavy rocket carrying NROL-82 for the National Reconnaissance Office.
Man.
I'm Caroline Kirk, and on behalf of the entire launch team, thank you for joining us and have a great day. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket carrying the NROL-82 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office.
Those mark diamonds.
On the pitch over maneuver. The parameters look good on all 3 cores.
Guys, that was so awesome. I mean, we just witnessed a very, very beautiful launch today, and Delta IV Heavy always, and this company CEO, Mr. Tory Bruno, he is very humble and kind, and you can actually ask him anything on Twitter, and he replies to everyone. So if you want a rocket scientist to answer your questions, you can ask him on Twitter, and yeah. The Delta IV Heavy, the name suggests it's all, and we just saw the sheer power and the elegance of this launch vehicle today. The beautiful liftoff accompanied with the massive fireball, which is totally nominal to happen, and then just we could have got the tracking views, but the onboard camera views were also very, very good. So talking about this launch, one thing to note basically, if you have just noticed that whenever that fireball was coming to its full power, the fireball actually was pushed downwards near the engine, and that happens because of the Bernoulli's principle. If you just go into the physics, when the velocity increases, the pressure decreases, and when the pressure decreases, the air tends to go from high pressure to a low pressure. So that's why all the air which was surrounding the rocket was just pushed down near the engine, because there the pressure decreased because of the velocity increase of the exhaust. So yeah, a bit of the fact. So this was it, and hopefully right now the Starship static fire is going on. Let me just see if we can get any views on it. Okay, we have views if we have anything here.
Until I see cars come back.
Okay, so we are getting something here today. We are actually going to see something, but right now the road is all closed and the pad is cleared. We saw the ground vent also, but nope, that was not the case today. Right now they are on hold or doing something. So if we get a static fire, successful static fire today, then tomorrow is the day when we will see the launch of the ascent 15 actually. So a lot to come in these 4 to 5 days. The China is launching their first space station module, guys. On 29th April, the China will be launching its first space station module, and that would be pretty big. I mean, for the Chinese space agencies and for the Chinese people, that would be a pretty big milestone to accomplish. So to come in for that. Also, what else do we have? We have the another launch coming up in just 6 hours from the China only, but I don't think so we will have the you know, the stream. But then the SpaceX Starlink mission is coming up in tomorrow on 28th. Yep. And then we have the Arianespace Vega mission, which has been criticized because of its vehicle not very successful. Would be interesting to see on 29th, and on 29th only we will have the China's mission. So we have couple of launches planned in line from today. It will be a busy week, so I'll see you then. So until then, this is Priyanshu Rohila. You just saw Rocket Can. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye-bye.